Season 6. I am starting to see through my own skin. Episode 1. I am starting to see through my own skin. It began with my hands. At first, I thought it was a trick of light. Too much time in the dark. Too little sleep. Another hallucination from a body unraveling quietly. But the light kept passing through. Between my fingers. Beneath the veins. Like my skin had become glass. And memory was bleeding through it. Not metaphor. Not poetry. Real. When I held my hand up to the lamp, I didn't see veins. I didn't see bone. I saw images. Flickering. Projected from inside me. Onto the soft surface of skin. Like filmed through old reels. A staircase. A garden with no exit. A child with no face. Building a tower out of clocks. I tried to blink it away. To rub it off. But the more I touched, the deeper it got. Soon, it wasn't just the hands. My arms faded first, like fog on a windshield. Then my chest. Then my legs. Until mirrors no longer held my outline. Only a glow, like something radioactive, was living underneath. And maybe it was, I stopped wearing clothes with patterns. Because I could see through them. Could see the air, moving around me. In shapes that had names I've never spoken. I began to notice things inside me that weren't organs, spinning glyphs, tiny wheels, a staircase winding upward from the center of my spine, not anatomy, architecture, as if I wasn't a body, just a temple that had forgotten it was sacred. And the worst part, I felt lighter, free, powerful, like I could float if I let go of just one more memory. But each time I forgot something, a face, a voice, a scar, my skin grew clearer, and the glow inside grew darker, like something was growing in the emptiness, feeding on the forgetting. Last night, I stood in the hallway, the one that used to be mine, naked, barefoot, invisible, and the walls moved back, open, welcoming, as if they saw me for the first time. I passed a mirror, and this time, I saw her, not me, but the thing wearing my glow, and she whispered, "Now you're ready to see what remembers you when you are no longer visible." Episode 2. People say I don't cast a shadow anymore. It was the boy at the market who said it first. I reached for an orange. Our hands touched. Just for a second. He looked at me, confused, fascinated, and whispered, "You don't have a shadow." I looked down. And he was right. Nothing followed me, not even the soft blur shape on the cracked pavement. Just sunlight, pure and empty, as if I didn't interrupt it at all. I walked home slow, listening, but even my footsteps felt silent, like the ground had forgotten how to echo me. Later that day, I asked my neighbor if she'd seen me leave earlier. She smiled politely. "Leave where?" "Your house," I said. "This morning, around 9. Her smile didn't fade. "Sweetheart, I haven't seen you in days." I stood in front of the mirror, still glowing, still translucent. My reflection looked less like a person and more like an afterimage, like the memory of someone standing too close to a flash of light. I turned the lights off, lit a candle, watched the flame dance, and behind me, no shadow. Not on the wall, not on the floor, just flicker, just movement, but no trace. I called an old friend. She answered, sounded sleepy. I asked how she was. She said fine. I asked if she knew who was calling. She hesitated. "You sound familiar," she said, like a voice from a dream I forgot to finish. I told her my name. She paused. That name used to mean something to me, but I can't remember why. I whispered goodbye. Didn't hang up. Just listened until the line went quiet. I walked the block. No one looked twice. The stray dog that always barked at me? Silent. The woman who sells flowers? Didn't say hello. The wind didn't pull at my coat. The door didn't creak when I closed it. The world was moving around me, but not with me. It wasn't isolation. It was erasure, not fading from view, but from memory. I opened my notebook. The one filled with symbols and words I never meant to write. The pages were blank. Every word gone. But on the last page, written faintly in glowing ink, when no one remembers your shadow, you're almost free. Almost. That word tasted like a warning. Because what waits beyond forgetting isn't peace. It's something else. Something watching, with no eyes. Episode 3. Mirrors no longer reflect me, but they do open. I stopped checking mirrors weeks ago. There was no point, no face, no shadow, no trace of who I used to be. Just glass, still and empty. But lately, they've changed. They've started to breathe. It's subtle, not air, not fog, just movement, like the surface flexes slightly. When I get close, like it's holding something in or keeping something out. I tested it, placed my palm flat against a mirror in the hallway. The glass was warm, soft, almost like the skin of something alive. Then it pulsed, once, beneath my hand, and a crack appeared, not broken glass, a seam, a hairline fracture. In reality, I pressed harder, not to break through, just to feel acknowledge me. And the mirror opened, not dramatically, no shattering, no sound, just parting, like two sheets of breathless water, pulling away to make space. On the other side, there wasn't a room, not in the human sense. There was space, vast, gray, laced with light that moved like ink in slow motion, and figures, tall, thin, not made of flesh, more like thoughts that had grown teeth. They didn't move, not toward me, but they saw me, every one of them. And though they had no eyes, I felt watched, pierced, like they had waited for me to stop being solid. I didn't step through, not yet, but I could feel the invitation, not a welcome, not warmth, a recognition, like they knew what I had become and approved. That night, I covered every mirror in the house, every frame, every surface, not out of fear, out of respect, because the next time one opened, I wasn't near it. It was the one in the attic, the mirror I hadn't touched in years. I heard it unfold, heard the soft sigh of reality bending, and then footsteps on the stairs, soft, familiar, not mine, but wearing the same silence I used to carry. I didn't open the attic door, just placed my hand on the wood. It was warm, like breath from the other side, was bleeding through, and a voice, my voice, but older, whispered, "I came through for you, so you never have to go back." Episode 4. I found a letter written in my handwriting, from the future. I found it tucked inside a book I don't remember buying. Its spine was cracked, pages worn, no title on the cover. But when I opened it, the letter fell out, cream-colored, folded once. No stamp, no seal, just my name, written in a hand I knew too well. Mine. I should have questioned it, should have panicked. But there was a strange calm in my chest, like part of me had been waiting for this moment to return. I unfolded the paper. The ink shimmered, like it had been written in moonlight, and frozen mid-glow. The handwriting was mine, but slightly slanted, tighter, more knowing, like someone who had stopped guessing and started remembering. The letter read, "You are not losing yourself. You are shedding the layers they made you wear. The glow in your skin is not light. It's memory condensed. The mirrors know. The house remembers. And soon so will you. But listen carefully when the sky turns to glass and the voice calls your name in light. Do not look, even if it sounds like love, even if it feels like home. Looking is agreeing. Agreeing is release. And release means forgetting everything." There was no signature, but below the warning, written in much smaller letters, almost trembling, "I'm still inside the light. I made the mistake. Don't follow me." I read the letter 5 times. Each time, the ink seemed to shift, not smudge, rearrange, like the message could reconfigure, based on what I was ready to know. I placed it under the pillow, slept with it beside me, hoping for a dream or a memory. But that night, I heard a whisper from the window. The sky had gone pale. Not dark, not dawn, just a pale shade of white. That pulse-like breath. And from it, a voice. Warm, loving. My mother's voice, but smoother. Come outside. It's safe now. I almost rose, almost opened the curtain. But the letter pulsed under my pillow, vibrating gently. A hum that said, remember. So I stayed, did not look, did not move, and the voice changed. Not angry, just different, deeper, hungrier. It said, you're learning. That means we're running out of time. When I finally opened my eyes, the letter had changed again. A final line had appeared. If you ever see yourself standing in the light, close your eyes. That's not you anymore. Episode 5. The light has started following me indoors. It used to stay outside. Polite, predictable. The sun had its schedule. The streetlights had their rhythm. And my house was a place for shadows. But lately, the light has grown curious. It slips in where it shouldn't, through closed blinds, through unplugged bulbs, through cracks in the mirror that weren't there yesterday. It's not warm. It's observant, sharp around the edges, heavy, like it carries something ancient that remembers how I used to be. Last night, I turned off every lamp, checked each window, sealed the door with salt, and silence. Still, the hallway glowed, not bright, just enough to make the dark retreat, like it knew it didn't belong anymore. I tried to step away from it, into the kitchen, into the bedroom, but it followed, not with movement, with intent, like the house had been rewired to channel something. That wasn't electricity. The microwave flickered at 3:03 a.m., not numbers, just letters. My name, spelled backward, a sign I had been processed, filed, marked for retrieval. I lit a candle, hoping for softness, a human glow, a flame I could trust, but it bent away from me, pointed toward the bathroom, toward the mirror I had covered days ago. I stood in front of it, hands trembling, and from beneath the sheet, light leaked out, not white, not gold, but blue, the kind of blue that exists only between lightning and memory. I lifted the cover. The mirror didn't reflect me. It reflected a door, one I didn't recognize, but that filled me with the cold ache of déjà vu. The door opened on its own, slow, patient, and behind it, light, not chaotic, alive. It pulsed once, like a heartbeat, then whispered through the glass, "You don't need skin to come home." I stepped back, covered the mirror, ran to the window, and outside, every streetlight blinked in unison, then turned, not downward, not outward, inward, beaming directly toward my house. I closed the curtains, but the light still seeped through, soft at first, then stronger, until the room glowed, like bone lit from the inside. I tried to hide beneath the blanket, the way I did as a child. Foolish, maybe, but it worked once. But the blanket began to shimmer, as if soaked in something not of this world, and in my ear, a voice like breathless light. "Soon, you won't need to look for me. You'll shine from within." I didn't scream, didn't pray. I remembered the letter, the warning, and whispered the light. "I am not ready." It paused, flickered, retreated, for now, but before it left, it carved one final sentence into the wall, in burning gold. Ready isn't the same as willing. Episode 6. People say they dream of me even though we've never met. The first message arrived at 3:03 a.m. Just a simple email. No subject line. No name. "I saw you again last night. Same white dress. Same hallway. You told me to step through the door. And I did. Where did you send me?" I thought it was spam. Ignored it. Deleted it. But then the second one came. And the third. And the 10th. Different people. Different cities. Different languages. But the same story. They dreamed of me of my face, of my voice, guiding them down corridors, made of shifting stone and sound. I was barefoot, glowing, always turning back to whisper, "It's almost over. You just have to step through." They remember me clearly, down to the scar above my left wrist, the way my voice caught when I said their names I've never spoken out loud. One woman said I held her hand as she walked through a gate of mirrors. When she turned back to thank me, I was gone. Only a feather remained. Another man dreamed he was drowning, sinking beneath a black ocean. And I was there, walking calmly across the surface, not rescuing him, not even looking down, just waiting. He said, I whispered one sentence. Before the water swallowed him whole, "You've already drowned in the waking world. This is just a memory catching up." I started replying to the emails, asking questions. Where was I? What did I say? How did they feel when they woke? Most of them never answered. The ones who did said they woke up crying, or shaking, or changed, like they had left something behind, in a place they never knew existed. One message came on paper. No return address, typed on a typewriter, folded clean. "You led me into a door carved from light. You said I'd remember everything." And I did. I remembered I was never meant to wake up. I searched my name online, found a forum thread titled, "Who was the woman in white?" Hundreds of posts, drawings, descriptions, dream maps, voice recordings. All of me. Some called me an angel, others a warning, a psychic echo, a collective hallucination. But one post chilled me most. It read, "She's not in our dreams. We're in hers." And then one day, I had the dream. But this time, I wasn't the guide. I was the one walking. And someone else was waiting, wearing my face, holding out her hand, smiling softly, saying, "You've done your part. Now let me finish it." I woke up with sand in my bed, and a phrase burned into my palm. Faint, like it had been kissed by fire. The door remembers everyone. Episode 7. I don't need to eat or sleep anymore, but something inside me does. It's been 17 days since I last ate, 10 since I last slept. No hunger, no fatigue, no pain. My body is still warm. My breath still fogs a glass. But nothing feels necessary anymore. I lie in bed, eyes open, staring at the ceiling, like it might whisper a secret back. And all I feel is stillness, not peace, just a pause, before something opens its mouth. But the silence isn't empty. It hums, low, gnawing, from somewhere inside me, beneath the ribs, behind the spine, like a second heart, beating with teeth. I don't crave food, but I crave weight, memory, the taste of a name I haven't spoken in years, the warmth of a fight I never resolved, the ache of a song I used to cry to, but can't remember anymore. That's what it feeds on. Not flesh, not blood, but unhealed memory. It started small, a missing birthday, a scent I couldn't place, a phone number I knew by heart that now echoes only half the digits. And each time I forget, something inside me sighs. Satisfied, I've begun to hear it at night. A wet, slow sound, like pages turning underwater, or teeth grinding against bone. With reverence, last night I lit a candle and whispered the name of my first love. The flame went out, not from wind, from hunger. I looked in the mirror and saw it behind my eyes. Not a creature, not a demon, just absence, alive, coiled like smoke, inside my chest cavity, smiling without a mouth. I don't sleep, but I dream, and in those dreams, I feed it. I hand over photographs, tear out journal pages, cut the strings to faces I swore I'd never forget, and it thrives, grows brighter, hungrier. Someone called me today, said we went to school together, asked if I remember the talent show. I paused. There was something there, the echo of a spotlight, the sound of my own voice cracking. But when I tried to reach for it, gone, and the thing inside me purred. I tried starving it, tried flooding my mind with old music, old letters, old rituals, but it only whispered. The ones you remember willingly don't taste the same. It wants the buried, the broken, the repressed, the parts of me I left behind, so I could keep going. Tonight it spoke aloud, through my lips, in my voice, but older, deeper, hollowed out. Keep forgetting. Let me feast. You'll feel lighter, until there's nothing left to carry. I wrote down everything I could remember. Names, places, pain, but the ink vanished by morning. Eaten, absorbed, digested, and now in the mirror, I don't see me. I see it, wearing my outline, holding my posture, blinking my eyes, but smiling with satisfaction. Episode 8. My name has started disappearing from official records. I tried to buy a train ticket this morning. Typed in my name. The website froze. Refreshed. Reset. Then the message appeared. No individual found. I checked again. Passport. ID. Library card. Every document. Every file. My name had vanished. Not replaced. Not altered. Erased. The ID card still had my photo. My date of birth. My address. But where my name should have been. Only a blank space. As if the ink refused to touch the paper. I called the registry office. Gave them my full legal name. The woman on the phone hesitated. Then asked, "Could you spell that again?" I did. Slowly. Carefully. She went quiet. "That's strange," she whispered. "I remember that name, but it's not in the system. And now, I don't remember why I knew it at all." I told her never mind, hung up, and cried, not because I was gone, but because the world was agreeing with it. I searched emails, letters, school certificates. My name was gone from every sentence. It once carried like a spine. I found one old friend on social media, messaged her, "Do you remember me?" She replied, "Your face looks familiar, but your name, it won't stick in my head." I say it, and it's like it slides off. Then, is this a trick? I just forgot my brother's middle name. I've known it for 30 years. I stopped texting people after that, because my name was no longer vanishing silently. It was taking things with it. I wrote it down on a napkin, over and over, to anchor it. Each time, it came out different. Letters reversed, vowels missing, until it just looked like noise. Then the napkin caught fire. Not a metaphor. It ignited from the ink, from the name. The next morning, my mailbox was empty. Inside, a single white envelope. No stamp. No return address. Just one word. Handwritten on the front. Unclaimed. Inside was a list. Typed, cold, names. Hundreds. Thousands. Most were crossed out. At the very bottom. Mine, not crossed out. Just fading, letter by letter, and below it, in red ink, final deletion pending, memory tether active, warning, anchors resisting will experience recursive unbinding. I don't know what recursive unbinding is, but my reflection has started flickering, and I swear, when I say my name out loud, the walls flinch, and now when I sleep, I dream of a black book, no title, just endless pages of names, being erased in silence. And each time one disappears, the book breathes, like it's getting lighter, like it's closer to being empty. And when I wake, there's a new line etched on my bedroom wall. What is unnamed cannot be summoned. What cannot be summoned cannot return. Episode 9. My house no longer shows up on any maps. I tried to order food last night, typed in my address. The screen blinked, searched, reloaded, then gave up. Location not found. Please enter valid address. I tried again. Checked the spelling. Double-checked the street. Same result. I opened a Maps app. Zoomed in. Out! Scrolled to the exact place my house should be. There was a gap. A blur of trees. A patch of forest. Where no building stood. Except I was inside. Right there. Watching the screen lie to me. I walked outside, stood at the curb, looked around. The other houses were still marked, still labeled, still seen, but mine, omitted, like it never asked to be remembered. I called the city office, asked for the property file. The woman on the line sighed. That plot's been listed as vacant for over 15 years. Ma'am, I said slowly, I'm standing in it. She hesitated. Maybe it's a data error. Maybe, I whispered, but I knew better. I texted a friend, asked if they could come by. They said sure. Then an hour later, I've been driving up and down the street. Your number doesn't exist. There's just a long hedge. No mailbox. No gate. Just space. I told them to walk in. To try. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Then a final message. This is weird. I feel like I've been here before. But I don't remember why. Or how I got back in my car. They forgot me. Or forgot the place. Maybe both. Inside the house, things have changed. Rooms rearrange themselves at night. Doors lead to the wrong memories. Windows show skies I've never lived beneath. The floor creaks like it's learning to speak. The walls breathe when I sleep. And sometimes, I find footprints that aren't mine. Yesterday, I opened the closet. It was no longer a closet. It was a tunnel, lined with mirrors, faintly glowing, leading downward, into a spiral that pulsed like a throat. I didn't go in. Not yet, but I heard something moving inside. Not crawling, walking. I tried drawing a floor plan. By morning, the lines had changed, twisted, crossed themselves, and written across the top corner. You do not map what is becoming. The power still works, but the electricity has moods. The lights dim when I remember too much. Flicker when I say my name aloud, burn brighter when I try to leave. And now, I think the house is starting to dream. It hums at night, repeats phrases I never taught it. Sometimes it calls me, from the vents, from the drains, not in fear, in longing. Last night, I found a note carved into the wood beneath the kitchen table. Same handwriting as mine, but I don't remember writing it. This was never your home. It was your anchor, and anchors don't float forever. Episode 10. I found a room in my house that knows things about me I never told anyone. I didn't notice the door until yesterday. It was in the hallway behind the bookshelf, where a wall used to be, where nothing had ever been, but silence, a narrow door, pale wood, no knob, just a keyhole, except there was already a key in it, already turned, already waiting. I opened it without meaning to, and behind it, a room, small, windowless, quiet, and filled with me. Not photographs, not journals, objects, tiny fragments of memory, transformed into things I never knew I'd lost. A cracked teacup I shattered when I was 6, and swore I hadn't touched. A scarf I left on a train and never mourned, but still dream of once a year. A cassette tape with my voice humming a lullaby no one ever taught me. Each item pulsed, faintly, softly, as if breathing, as if they'd been waiting for my return. I moved slowly. The air was thick, not dusty, but heavy with knowing. There was a mirror on the floor, not hung, just lying there. When I picked it up, I didn't see my reflection. I saw my first memory, clear as a movie. Me in a red dress, hiding in the closet, after my parents' first fight. I hadn't thought of that in decades, but the mirror remembered. On the far wall, a shelf, lined with boxes, each labeled with one of my names. Birth name, nickname, the name I never told anyone, the name I only used in my prayers. And one box, with no name at all, just a symbol, a spiral carved into black stone. I didn't open it. My hands shook, just being near it. There was a journal on the desk, not written by me, but written about me. Entries dated years before I was born. She's starting to fracture. The body holds, but the boundaries are thinning. Soon, the room will wake. That's when I noticed the walls. They were breathing, expanding, contracting, like lungs, or like they were listening. And the light, if you could call it light, began to shift. Shadows lengthened. The objects began to hum, not in menace, in memory. The room was remembering me, better than I could. I turned to leave. The door was gone, replaced by a mirror. Tall, still, it didn't show the room, or me. It showed an empty world. Silent hills, a sky with no stars. A single figure walking, wearing my coat, but not walking away, walking toward this room. I touched the mirror. It was warm, familiar, and then it spoke, not aloud, but within me. You are not trapped. You are preserved. We kept what you could not carry, and now you must decide what to forget, to remain human. I sat down in the chair that hadn't been there before and opened the spiral box. Inside was light, but not like fire, not like stars, like something that remembers pain and doesn't judge it. It pulsed once, then went still, and I knew this was the last part of me that still belonged only to me. And I whispered to the room, if I give this up, who will I become? And the room answered, the version who finally gets to leave.